Okay, so, excuse me, my topic was bullying. In today's world, it's not just an occasional occurrence for kids and adults to get bullied, but an everyday occurrence. Bullying points out all the aggression, threats, suicide, depression, anxiety, eating disorder, self-cutting, and substance abuse that children in our society at large has to deal with on a regular basis. The book I read was The Bully Society by Jesse Klein, and there's just a couple stories that I wanted to read. It said a 23-year-old Virginia Tech gunman, Choi Sung-Hoi, who had been bullied throughout middle school and high school, was angry and thought his school was privileged and wealthy. Before he killed 32 people and then himself, and in the 2007 rampage, Choi had it out for the rich, snobs, brats at his school that was not satisfied with their gold necklaces and Mercedes. His parents ran a dry clean business and believed that he had been bullied because of his lower economic status and his race. The biggest challenge for kids today is the social status war. Once you get in high school, you have a label put on you. You rich, poor, smart, nerd, dumb, jock, okay, etc. But I feel like that even probably not in high school, anywhere in school, anywhere, you're gonna have a label put on you, no matter what. In most cases, if you're rich, you're not caught talking to someone that's poor because people would think differently of you, and that would kill your social status. Sports are considered the golden road in high school. For students, athletes get favored, and teachers tend to look past the negative behavior. People that don't play sports might be considered weak or a baby to a star athlete. Another story from the book that I read, Klein was talking about a girl named Elizabeth that cut herself. Elizabeth said, "I was angry at myself for being different. People express their anger in different ways. Crying helps, but that didn't help me. So I thought that maybe I'd try this, and maybe it would help. The pain just takes away all your depression, and for a minute, you're not depressed anymore." Girl bashing tends to strive from social status more than guys, but with social status there's girl bashing. Some girls just think that they're perfect, but no one's perfect. And they think that they have the right to judge others, to call them stupid, fat, ugly, lesbians, sluts. But God didn't make us all the same to blend in. He made us all different to stand out. Just like men with their heterosexuality, women have to prove their femininity. Women suffer abuse relating their bodies being too skinny, thick, or fat. Violence against girls. Crime stats have shown that boys under 18 commit significant proportions of sexual offenses, including 25% of all rapes and 50% of known child sexual abuse cases. Young boys tend to target and shoot girls who have rejected them in one way or another. Cyberbullying. Cyberbullying in many ways can be worse than being bullied face-to-face. In today's age, we can get a hold of anybody whenever we want through a text message, through the internet. You can get a hold of them. And when someone gets after another online, it tends to be more violent because they all of a sudden become brave when they don't have that face-to-face feature. Adults. Teachers can be bullies if they realize it or not. Enforcing the rules, but when they come across extremely harsh at a young age, it can scare a kid and scar them for life. Parents sometimes think they're helping their child out by calling another parent and telling them that their son or daughter is bullying them, but in reality it just makes the situation a lot worse than it already is. Coaches can get really competitive, and they can also turn into a bully. Okay, so my interviews, I decided to go back to my the school I graduated from and interview a teacher because I wanted the standpoint of like through a school, just to kind of see everything that I missed or I didn't pay attention to when I was in high school. And so I decided to go back and interview Miss Hicks. She's a well-respected teacher at Victory. And she kind of gave me the idea that I should interview freshman students because when you come in as a freshman, you're really observant to all your surroundings, and you want to know who to fit in with, who not to fit in with, if that'll make you cool, whatever. And so I interviewed Olivia, Eli, and Caleb, and then I interviewed a youth pastor. But Miss Hicks, she talked to me a lot about, just because like it's a private school, it doesn't mean they don't see bullying every day. Especially at Victory, she said like they have a very strict bully policy. Like whenever they hear and see all this stuff, they have to report it and all kinds of stuff. And she said that you really have to take into consideration that kids are kids and they're gonna nitpick at each other, and it's gonna be a joke, and it's not really like abuse. Like you will know like when it's verbal abuse and things. The 3 students that I interviewed, I asked them all the same questions just to see their different responses. I asked them if they noticed bullying around the school and what did they notice. The first one I talked to was Olivia. She pointed out to me that just because they have to wear school uniforms, like they might look the same to teachers and adults, but they're not, because you can buy your school uniforms at a designer store, and if you don't wear a certain label on your school uniforms, you get looked down upon. And that was what, like, that's pretty much what she talked about. Eli, he used to play sports, but he doesn't anymore. He was saying that he wasn't very good at baseball, and so that's why he doesn't play anymore, because the guys on the team always picked on him, telling him how he wasn't good. Which, I mean, but I don't know. He just, that's what he pointed out. He said that people don't realize it because teachers think like you're on the team, everybody's friends, so when they pick on you, like it's just a joke. They don't, yeah. So that was his, yeah. And then I talked to Caleb. He was the athlete. According to Miss Hicks, he thinks he runs the school. And he doesn't, I was talking to him, and he doesn't see, and he doesn't notice any bullying around the school. He said the only thing that he notices is that the different cliques, they're at lunch. He says that if you don't talk to someone, you definitely don't go and sit by them. And I was, okay. I don't know. It was just interesting to like get the point of views from the 3 students, because like girls will see things a lot differently than what guys see. Athletes will see things a lot different than a non-athlete. It was just really interesting to me. Oh, and the last person I interviewed was Pastor John Doherty. He mentioned that when he went through high school and through middle school, he experienced being made fun of and being left out because he was overweight and stuff. And he just wanted a place that he could go and not be judged, but he could make a lot of new friends. So now he runs 2 different groups. One is called 24/7. It's for kids middle school through 11th grade, and 3D is 12th grade through college. And it's just an organization that like you can go and you can get involved in different programs. He said it's a judgment-free establishment that people can come talk, hang out, make new friends, because everyone is accepted for who they are and not for what people want them to be. So I just thought that was kind of cool, just a place to go and really hang out. The verses I chose were Luke 6:31, do to others as you would like them to do to you, and Leviticus 19:18, you shall not take vengeance or bear a grudge against the sons of your own people, but shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. We also need to stop and look around and make sure that we treat others the way that we want to be treated. Look for the signs of things that we can help prevent. Be the friend that saves a life and prevents bullying. Lifting up one person that looks down upon themselves could save more lives and pain than you'll ever know. Be that hero. That's it.
Questions?
Were you bullied?
No.
Were you a bullier?
No.
Have you seen any bullying here on campus?
Here on campus.
I know you're involved in athletics, so I'm just curious.
I mean, we pick at each other all the time. All the time.
So it could be
It could be.
interpreted
Yeah.
by someone
Yeah.
receiving it.
Yeah, especially on our team.
Do you
Yeah.
think it's too much?
I think sometimes we go too far with a lot of things with each other. Like, people probably think that we hate each other. But we don't, I swear.
Right.
So you think the athlete guy, Caleb,
Yeah.
do you think he didn't see the bullying because he thought it was normal to him, and if there was bullying, it wouldn't be considered bullying to him, it would be just like joking around?
I don't
Do
know.
you think
I kind
that's
of
why
thought,
it
like,
was-
I didn't know, like, maybe if he didn't see it, maybe he was the bully. But I didn't want to be like, so are you the bully? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah.
Because like he said, don't go sit by, like you just don't sit by anybody you don't talk to. And so I'm like, so if you were encountered with a kid that you don't know and you don't talk to, would you bully him if you like?
You know, I don't know. I
Please
don't.
talk to Caleb.
I know.
Yeah.
He got, yeah.
Seems like it's kind of appeals to our animal nature, because I've seen animals pick on the one that's different in a group of chickens. I had some chickens once, and this one chicken had been made a pet by the person that gave me these chickens, and she had kept this one because it was an odd colored one or something, and she'd kept it as a pet. And I went out there one day, and the other chickens had pecked it to death. 'Cause it was odd. It wasn't a part of their troop or whatever. They knew something was wrong with it. But the hero part reminds me of Zimbardo and he's actually doing a program about training kids to be heroes, and to do that very thing you were talking about. How are you going to use this I know you're interested in sports psychology. How are you going to use this in your future career plan? How will you use this information?
About bullying?
Yeah.
Shouldn't.
If you're going to work, well, I mean, if you're going to work with a team, whatever you see yourself doing, how would this information help you?
I would, I don't know, probably just explain, like, I don't know, would you want to be treated like this, or, I don't know, explain to people that, I don't know, you just can't, like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know.
Something to think about.
Yeah.
And the interviews that you did, it reminds me, and this is true for all of you, those are qualitative type research projects, or not official research projects. But can you imagine if you went and interviewed about 100 people, or maybe even 10 people in depth, what you could learn and then transfer it to people's knowledge? Because I learned stuff about when you talked about interviewing the kids. You learn stuff that way that you can't learn statistically. You know what I'm saying? If you just take averages, you can even take that information and make it analyze it statistically. So if you need 10 people or 15 people or 20 people, and then you can take their responses and categorize them and put them in there. But the fact that you actually found out what people actually think that's qualitative research, and it's very powerful. So. Cool. Anything else?